Welcome, everybody, to the very first segment of this series, The Black Wealth Code. We are going to be exploring the wealth code of Black people. This series is going to help you, an entrepreneur, looking at starting and running a successful business and building generational wealth. That is the entire objective of this series. I would like to lay emphasis that the inspiration of this series came from the book Tribal Leadership, written by Dave Logan. You, as an individual, want to create wealth. And if you are here, I can tell that is your primary objective. But if you don't have the right pillars, you don't have the right foundation, you don't have the right blueprint, you are going to struggle. And you ask yourself, but why not you? Why can't you succeed at building a great business? So for this video, I would like us to understand that the book written by Dave Logan, Tribal Leadership, comes from a research that was done on 20 companies. That is a dozen plus companies over a 10 years period. That is, they studied the greatest companies over a 10 years period, what those companies are doing different from the rest. And they studied 24,000 people within this 20 companies. And I'm sure it will be of interest to you. And I encourage you to go ahead and share the video, invite someone, subscribe to the channel, so that every time we upload new videos or every time we're going live, you will be notified, so you can contribute to this conversation or draw some knowledge or insights from this conversation to build better companies, better families, better communities, better nations out of this video. Are you tracking? We prioritize fitness on this platform. We prioritize business growth. We prioritize marketing, branding, and growing and scaling your business. Are you tracking? So I would like us to dive straight into this video. So if you are Black, that is if you look like me, then this video will be of importance to you. And if you don't look like me, this video will also be of tremendous value to you. As the world is getting connected today, it is important that we have in mind that there is no way for you to survive without connecting with the rest of humanity. Are you tracking? So there are 5 stages that Dave Logan outlines in this book, Tribal Leadership. He said the first stage that every human being starts at is the stage where they say, my life sucks. That is not your life. Life sucks for everyone. That's where you are a little bit confused about what to even do, how to grow and scale your business. You are at that place where life sucks. Everybody around you is complaining, right? Everybody around you feels like life is not worth living. The entire drive is about money. The entire drive is all about survival. So life actually sucks. Now, what Dave Logan discovered from the companies that they studied is that they have 2 things in common. Number 1, culture and values. All those great companies that they studied had common culture and a common value. And when he's talking about tribal leadership, he's actually talking about any group of people from 20 to 150 and above. That is a tribe. And I would like to draw a comparison from the tribe that we know in Africa and the tribal leadership that is actually depicted in this book. Now, the tribe that I come from in Africa, we have common ethnicity, common culture, common ancestry, a common language, and a common history. This is what binds my tribe together. This is what binds most tribes together in Africa. They are bound by common ethnicity, common culture, common ancestry, common language, and a common history. But the tribe that he's talking about, that we see everywhere around the world, because we cannot escape tribes, we only evolve. We have different types of tribes. So the tribes that he's talking about in the book, Tribal Leadership, is a tribe that has shared values, number one. Number two, a common mindset. They think a certain way. And number three, they have a shared goals. That is, they have a common goal that they aspire towards. Are you tracking? So that is the difference between the tribes as we know it in Africa and tribal leadership. Does this make sense? Yeah. So if we want to generate wealth, we get to the place where our coming together is motivated by a common culture, common values, and a higher purpose. And this is what he recognized in most of the great companies, that they had a vision that goes beyond making money. And because they have that, they end up making more money. Because they are driven and motivated by a common vision, a common goal, and a common culture, and the desire to make the world a better place, to improve an industry. They end up making more money than those who start out with the idea just to make money. They end up making less money. So the first stage is life sucks. And then from there, you move to stage 2, my life sucks. Now you realize that it's not just life sucks for everyone. No, the consciousness now becomes my life sucks. What do you do when you find yourself in the stage? And most people starting and running a successful business or looking for a job always starts here. Are you tracking? Now, when people go to school, get educated, end up with a degree, maybe become a doctor, become a lawyer, become maybe a consultant, whatever profession you end up with, now you are at that place where you say, I am great and you are not. Most of our communities find themselves from stage 1 to stage 3. You will often find people with language that reflects these 3 stages. Now, at this stage, you hear someone say, oh, man, I got a degree from MBA. Oh, I got a degree in MBA. I got a master's degree. I got a PhD degree. So you realize that people are either focused on themselves and their achievements. That is why you see it is hard to come to consensus. It is hard to make a decision because everyone knows. Right? Before you make a decision, you realize that everyone is telling you that they know better. And that is where we find ourselves at stage 3. Now, in that book, Dave Logan actually coins out an example because he trains leaders across the world. So he was in a military camp, and while they were hosting a meeting, they realized that there was chaos somewhere, and so the military officer was being called to deploy soldiers so they can go out there and solve that problem. And one of the lieutenants stood up to make that decision. Another soldier stood up and told the leader, sir, you are not fit to deploy. And immediately, that lieutenant sat down and realized, yes, I'm not fit to deploy. And that problem was solved in less than 1 minute. Now, in a stage 3 culture, you realize that it is tough to even let someone know that they are not qualified to do a job. They will say, who the hell do you think you are? I have an MBA from Stanford. And they will put their credentials on the table and dictate what will happen. So this is what really happens at stage 3. So most people, like if you listen to Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream, it is an I. So right here, I am great and you are not. So the focus on stage 3 is I. And if you realize why great visions or movements or initiatives don't really change the world or make the world a better place or get left halfway, is because of this I, stage 4, which is the goal. It is very important that you start here. And if you see companies like Zappos, Microsoft, Apple, these are some of the companies that were studied within this 10 years period. According to that book, Tribal Leadership by Dave Logan, you realize that most of the companies that he studied, Zappos being one of those companies, they actually prioritize we over I. So if you listen to a leader that often talks about I all the time, they are at stage 3. And if you see an organization or a movement that is focused on a leader, that organization will not really go far, right? Because you probably hear out there people telling you, oh, the number one strategy to growing and scaling your business is to learn sales. And how do I close the deal? How do I get more people to buy? It's all about I. And then when you move from that stage now to marketing, so you move from sales to marketing. Marketing now is about we. How do you create that awareness about your product that people are free to make a decision to join or not join, or buy or not buy, or subscribe or not subscribe? So you are gradually moving from the I to the we, and then from marketing to branding. And that is another level in business where you create that brand. That is, I can walk into a store. If there's anything with the swoosh sticker, that is the Nike sticker, I buy it because I trust the product. Why? Because Nike has built a brand that is trusted. They build a brand that is credible. And so with that, anything I see with the Nike, I know it is authentic. I know it is durable. I know it's a good product, so I buy it. So we want to start here. And again, this is stage 5. Stage 5 is life is great. This is where people focus on making the world a better place. And at stage 5, he actually talks about what happened in South Africa. It's the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, that we are all coming here for one purpose. We are not coming here because of our tribes. We are not coming here because of we are coming because we want to make the world a better place. We don't want our country to end up in a situation like that of Rwanda, right? Where we see thousands of people ending up losing their lives. But rather, how can we come together for peace? How can we come together for unity? And that was the entire objective of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission that was organized in South Africa. So this is where I want you to start, right? At least start at level 4, because if you go level 5, many people can't even understand that, because people are even looking at life sucks, right? And then if you go to level 2, my life sucks. You understand what I'm saying? And then level 3 is I am great, you are not, trying to prove a point and all of that. So at level 4, we are great and they are not. At least at the minimum, that is a good place to start. That you are building a company that the culture is focused on us. What can we do together to make this industry better, to make this organization better? So now with that, the energy in that organization is different. Are you tracking? Is different compared to those who are focused on I or who think life sucks. So this is what is important. When you realize that people are caught up in a place where they say life sucks, your goal is that you move them up to stage 2, where they can understand that my life sucks. It's not us, because when an individual take responsibility, right here, people blame, people complain. At level 2 and level 3, you realize people are willing to talk about the problem, but no one is willing to solve the problem. No one is willing to take initiative, because it's all about I. And so, but the goal is that you take someone that is a little bit understanding of the situation, like understand that my life sucks. Things are bad around here because of me, because I'm not doing something. There's something that I'm not doing right. And if you start training that individual, put them around the right coaches, put them around the right books, mentor them, you realize that they will move from here, where my life sucks, to I am great. And this is what you want to do in an organization. And because you have this in mind, we are great. You want to be at stage 4 while you're crafting this vision. And that is how you build a business that last for a very long time. That is not focused on a leader. That even if you're gone tomorrow, that business continues. Even if you're gone tomorrow, that business thrives. Your family, your wife, your children can be able to live off that business because you started with a we in mind. And so you train people, mentored people within that organization with this frame of reference. Is this making sense so far? Yeah. So this is how you build a business that lasts. It could be a legal firm that you're building, right? You could be an immigration lawyer, right? You could be running a home improvement business, a real estate business, a consulting business, a coaching business, whatever that business is that you're running. Because right here we offer strategic business consulting, and we also help you build systems that enable you to grow and scale your business online. That is what we primarily do, right? And so the whole idea is that you hear my language, this is what we do here. This is what we aim to achieve. We want to see businesses grow and scale. Right now, you listen to Donald Trump and what is going on in America with the immigration system. There is a high demand for immigration lawyers right now. My question is, are you positioned in such a way that your clients can find you, build that trust with you, and go on to do business with you so you can help solve their problems? How do you see your job? Is it all about money, or are you trying to make the lives of your clients better? That focus will change how you serve your clients. Are you tracking? And why am I emphasizing this? Peter Drucker said something very important. And I thought I'd read that. He said, that is the father of modern management. If you know Peter Drucker, he says, culture eats strategy for breakfast. Culture eats strategy for breakfast. If you have the wrong culture, no matter how good that strategy is for your business, the culture is going to eat up that strategy. So in order for your strategy to work, you need to change the company's culture. So if you have the wrong company's culture, the wrong company culture is going to eat up the strategy. So you start by fixing the culture if you want your strategy to work effectively. Are you tracking? And so what changes an organization is values and culture, and then a higher purpose that is bigger than the desire to make money. With that, you end up making more money. And this is what has been proven through the research of 10 years of observing companies that are the best in the universe and what they have been able to achieve within their span. Are you tracking? So at this point, I'll go ahead and have us take a break. And then when we come back, we are going to move to the next stage. What are you going to do with all this information that you have? How can you plug this information into your business so that you can succeed? And we are going to move to the next step on exactly what to do. So I would like us to take a brief break. And then when we come back, we are going to proceed as to how you can apply that and move from zero to abundance. From zero, you don't have nothing right now. Maybe you're making 100K a year, or maybe you're making 50K a year or 60K a year. But how do you move from zero with the skill, the knowledge that you have right now to abundance? We are going to be unlocking the Black Wealth Code gradually. And you start seeing that it is even possible for you to achieve, because nothing holds you back in business like your mindset. People will tell you strategy, people will tell you tactics, people will tell you skills, people will tell you tools, but nothing holds you back in business like mindset. And if you figure out your why, the how will never be a problem. And this is what can move you from the place where you say life sucks, my life sucks, to we are great and they are not. So let's take a brief break, and when we come back, we'll continue. Are you a consultant, a coach, a real estate professional, a lawyer, or run a service business? I have one question for you. Are you getting quality clients to keep your business running? Hey, I'm Roland Fru. I'm a strategic marketing and business expert. I've been in business in the United States for over a decade. Just like you, I struggled getting quality clients to keep my consulting business running. I posted on Facebook, WhatsApp groups, my WhatsApp status, hoping that someone will contact me. But all I got was likes and shares from my friends and loved ones saying, "Good job." I realized this wasn't working for me. Your friends and loved ones are not your client. You need a proven system that can guarantee lead generation on a consistent base. After investing more than $50,000 on coaching programs, mentors, masterminds, books from some of the best in the United States like Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, and Grant Cardone, have figured out what actually works. I call it the guarantee magnet system. It is a 3-step approach that will guarantee clients coming to you on a consistent basis. And all you have to do is turn it on and off depending on your schedule. I've been using this system to help clients in the service industry make up to $20,000 a month with their service business. Success in business isn't luck. You need a system that works. We are running a promotion right now, and the spots are very limited. All you have to do is click the link below, schedule that breakthrough call. Either me or someone on my team is going to reach out to you so that we can help you start getting quality clients so that you can grow and scale your business. I'll see you on the other side. Awesome. Welcome back. We are going to look at how you can implement this strategy and grow and scale your business, because theory is not enough. You've heard this. Now you're thinking, how can I adjust my company cultures? How can I adopt good values, right? It is very essential that the values that we are talking about must be universal. The culture we are talking about must be universal. That's what I'm talking about, universal. I'm talking about universal impact. And that is why most of the tribes and the tribal structures in Africa is limited, because we cannot scale it globally. You can't scale your tribal language globally. Are you tracking? You can scale it even nationally. And that is why when you are looking at the culture, it is important, or looking at values, can you be willing to share that with others? Will it benefit others? If it will not benefit everyone else around the world, then it's time for you to reconsider those values, that culture, right? And the goal that you have, right? Is it a worthy goal? Is it a goal that benefits everyone? Now, when we talk about wealth creation, you probably heard in our communities most of the time people talking about go get a job, right? They value those who have a job. Even if it sucks up the time, you have no freedom, you spend maybe 8 hours every day, and you have nothing to show for at the end of the month. You're living from paycheck to paycheck, yet they tell you go get a job. And it's very important that we address this in our culture. The lowest form of wealth creation is implementation. That is what we focus on, called job. I took this strategy from Marion Gordon, and I think it's so fascinating. And this is what happens when you see something good, be able to spread it around. Sometimes you try to tweak it. We try to make it look a certain way, but you rather share those strategies and give credit to those who credit is due. And this is how we show respect for those in the industry that have been able to carve out a blueprint that is helping to shape the mindset of our people. So implementation, job, what do you call job, right? And if you look at the rich dad, poor dad, the cash flow quadrant, is the same philosophy, right? It always starts with E, employee. He said the lowest form of wealth creation is employee. That is where most people start, right? So implementation, job, that is the lowest form of wealth creation. So if you want to really build a business that lasts, you can't focus on doing the job. You can't focus on having a job. You can't focus on going out there to seek employment, because you can never build generational wealth that way. So this is what unlocking the Black Wealth Code is all about, right? We are starting there, right? So implementation is the lowest form of wealth creation. The second level of wealth creation is management. So right here, you see people make maybe $100,000 and below. That is at the level of implementation. The next level is management. This is where you manage people, maybe a team of 5 or 10 in a company, and you're paid maybe somewhere between 70,000 or maybe between 50,000 and 250,000. This is management. That is the next stage of wealth creation, because managing people is a very complex task. And you ask yourself the question, oh, this person works, they do all the job. Like if you go to the company, those you see running around, you think they are doing the whole work. They're doing the work, right? They are the one doing the most work at that organization, and so they should be paid more. And you might have a conflict mentally just looking at that system, because you think that those who are doing the job ought to be paid more than those who are managing. Try managing people. Look at our nations. Do you think it's easy to manage people? Look at our community, Black community in particular. Do you think it's easy to put people together? Because the mindset shift starts where you realize that it is really tough to manage people. It is tough to get people together and have them agree. And that is why I make this courses. That's why I make these videos, so that we can be able to move from disagreement, frustration, life sucks, my life sucks, I, to we. That is management. That is structure within an organization that people can align. Like if we have values that we rally around, and the management is able to articulate those values to those who are doing the job, and everybody aligns, guess what? More gets done. More gets done. You're able to leverage systems that enable you to put a team together and get more done. Leverage networks that you can be able to put people together and get more done. So management is a very tedious job. Even God struggled with management to put us together and agree. Just with the man and the woman in the garden, before he came back, everything was messed up. How do you manage people in an environment that they can be able to align with a vision that will move that organization forward? Are you tracking? So the next level of wealth creation, according to Marion Gordon, is communication. People under extension in our community. And why? Is because this is where we find ourselves in a community where either life sucks or my life sucks. And so with that, you realize that people look at those who communicate as insignificant, like it's just talk, but they underestimate the power of the spoken word. Martin Luther King, all he had to do was stand on the Lincoln Memorial and say, I have a dream that one day this is the society that my children will live in. And he is recognized globally, in America in particular. And there is a day that is called the Martin Luther King's Day just because of that speech. I want you to understand the power of the spoken word. Jesus Christ never built any church on earth. None. All he did was release the word. And the disciples went on to inspire others to become Christians. And because of that, see the churches that we have around the world today. Look at the number of followers that Christianity has today. Are you tracking? Because of the word. Good speech. Speech that unites. Speech that inspires. When you look at actors, musicians, politicians, most of them, all they do is just communicate in different ways and get paid. Look at comedians. What are they doing? Communicating. We watch them every day. The strategy that they use to communicate, the style that they use to communicate, the manner at which they communicate, mimicry and all that. And we watch them every day. Why? Because we were designed to communicate. And anyone that can communicate better, could be through comedy, through music, through acting. Guess what? We are going to gravitate around that individual and we make them superstars. We make them stars. We make them celebrities. We reference them. What are they doing? Using their mouth. So if you want to be successful in life, you must be able to learn how to use your mouth. What did Jesus Christ do? He communicated the vision that God had for the world. And that is all in ourselves in most of our nations and communities today. Guess what? All we need is perspective and the right word. And we unite around that word. Transformation will come. Are you tracking? Now, on that note, the last stage of wealth creation is imagination. Imagination. Most of the things you see around you today was once a thought in the mind of someone. Almost everything. Think about it. The watch that I'm putting on, this board that I'm writing on, the shirt that I'm putting on was once an idea in the mind of someone. And that individual got to the place where they expressed that idea and was able to turn that idea into a product, into a service to make the lives of someone better. And that is where the change began. So it's important to understand that imagination, thinking, is the hardest job on earth. I recall times where I would think, read, study, and get hungry more than maybe doing a physical job or physical exercise. I get hungry thinking because thinking is hard. Right? And if you will grow and scale your business, start a business that thrives, a place where you are able to use your brain, not just to regurgitate facts, not just to memorize facts, but using your brain to think creatively. It is the hardest job on earth. Imagine, all God did was and said. He thought about the world that he wanted to see. He thought about the things that he wanted to see in that world. And then he said, let there be. So he communicated, he thought, he imagined. And then the next thing is he communicated what he had in his mind. And the world began. Imagine that. And if you're wondering where your priority has been, that's why I look at implementation or money. Money, we'll talk about this in a later video, but money is the lowest level of wealth creation. The lowest form of money is the physical cash. That is the lowest level of money. But guess what? We focus on this. Why? Because this is the stage that we find ourselves. Life sucks. My life sucks. I am great. So because we are at the level 1 and level 3, level 2, so the language is money, money, money. So if you remember the cash flow quadrant of Rich Dad Poor Dad, what did he say? Right? You start from an employee to a small business owner. An employee is, I have a job. A small business owner, I own a job. And the big business owner, I own a system. Are you seeing? Communication. You have a system that you can communicate and have people around you doing the job that you used to do. You think it's not easy? It's not. It's the most tedious thing to do. And then the last, he says investment, right? The I stands for investor. I think that is the level where you think and then you are able to invest or channel resources, channel your income into the right company with the right idea, with the right vision, with the right system, so that you can generate residual income. That is you having your money work for you. But guess what? If you look at someone like Warren Buffett, one of the greatest investors of all time, it is not easy to know. It is a tough task to know the company that would generate you residual income to channel your resources or your money into those industries or that company so that you can be able to have money working for you while you're sleeping. That is where we all desire. But I love big business. The reason is simple, because I'm engaged. We are engaged in creating products and services that changes the lives of people. And that is what makes that stage so fascinating. And I think every human being should be there. And I think God wanted us to be there, right? At that level where we have systems, creating systems that solve problems for people. I invited a friend here. He said something very fascinating, that systems equal skill. If you want to scale your business, you need systems. And so my job is to take you from the place where you have this small business, grow the small business, right? Move maybe from zero to maybe $1 million. And then from there, you can come up with systems. In that process, you come up with systems where you can be able to duplicate yourselves. You can be able to leverage other people's time, other people's money, and be able to grow and scale your business. And in that process, you are really changing other people's lives. You're changing the world. You're making the world a better place. That is really what you're doing, because other people will have jobs because you chose to have a system that they can be employed. Look at McDonald's, for instance. Look at the number of people that McDonald's has been able to employ globally. Why? Because he had a system with lettuce, meat, and bread, ketchup, and soft drinks. We have millions of people being employed around the world, and millions have been touched because of that one initiative. So imagination, or where we call imagination, is the greatest level of wealth creation. I think you've had some value out of this, right? Haven't you? I think so. Guys, this is where it starts. And those who are thinking of starting businesses, I encourage you, have a platform where you share your knowledge, right? That is part of your branding. Some people are like, oh, people are going to insult you. Yes, you must be willing to take insults. You must be willing to have people not be okay with you. You might like, oh, I'm not that cute. It doesn't matter. When you're out there sharing information that can change the lives of people, all of a sudden, all of these superficial things that we prioritize flies off the window, and people start learning from what you have to share, because it will make their lives better. Are you tracking? So that is what is very, very important. So implementation, management, communication, and imagination. So these are the levels of wealth creation. And so you know where to find yourself. And I talked about the cash flow quadrant. And then we've also talked about the tribal leadership, and looking at this structure, moving from here to here, and how you can help people move, because that is the goal. That is why we are here, to move people from where they say my life sucks to I am great and they are not, and then to we are great and they are not. Right, to life is great, and how can we make it even better? So before you even get here, like I said, make sure that your company is built, or your organization, your business is built on we are great and they are not. And this is where you have core values, and we are going to go deep into that are universal, that benefits others, not just yourself, not just the leader, and not just the group, but that your core values are out there to benefit the whole world. And you can be confident to share that with others, knowing that their lives will be better because of those values that you share. America works, and many who have come over here, you've seen them succeed, is to tell you the values that these people have benefits the entire world. Elon Musk left from South Africa to America. Today, he is the wealthiest man in the world. It's just a clear indication that the values that Americans share benefits the entire world. The culture that America has is open, free, and welcoming to strangers. That is what they have. You, no matter where you find yourself in the world, coming into this country, you can be able to benefit. And this is what I'm looking at with Black communities or African nations. How can we have values and culture, a noble goal, a noble vision that benefits the entire world? That no matter where you come from, you can come into our communities and you can be able to grow and scale a business, and we will support and promote you. It all starts with the culture, it starts with the values. And that is why Peter Drucker said, culture will eat up any strategy. But if you have the right culture, I think that the strategy is going to be effective because of the culture that you have. So if the strategy is not working, look at the culture, look at your values. That is a good place to start. I hope you got some value out of this video. And until next time, go ahead and share the video. Let's keep pushing. And this is how we build a community. This is how we build a nation. This is how we build a business. And this is how we think strategically if we want to make lasting impact. Until next time, stay blessed.